Alright, so it's now getting close to the end of September, which means that the end of the season for the current season of League of Legends is going to be ending in about a month and a half's time. Now, if you're like me, some of you guys out there are really trying to push and reach that diamond rank or that platinum rank or whatever rank you're looking to achieve for this season. So what I thought I'd do is I drop another best champions to climb with video for you, talking about some of the best champions that you can play currently to climb to at least diamond. You can reach gold, plat, everything up to diamond with these champions. Now, I did take in some feedback that I got on the last video, and I know that this is such a team-oriented game, which means that sometimes you're just going to get teammates that want to troll, want to feed, want to, whatever it may be, and you just can't help that. With the league system being a 50-50, 50% win rate chance, there are just going to be games where you get those teammates. But I'm going to give you guys a list of champions that I think are going to give you the best chance and that can bring the most to the table in a team fight to maybe turn the tides, maybe help you win your lane a little easier, and so on and so forth. So please take this with a grain of salt. I'm just looking to help you guys out because this is the main goal of my channel, is to make sure that everybody reaches the goal that they set for themselves at the beginning of each season. So with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first thing is first, we're going to look at top lane. Now, not many people like to play top lane because you're not very damage heavy. You don't really do a lot other than kind of disrupt team fights. Well, right now it's kind of a tankier meta because of how many assassins are kind of dominating the mid lane. So that's really great for one specific champion that I have in mind, and that's going to be Cho'Gath. Now, Cho'Gath is so easy to play. You've got a knockup, you've got a silence, you've got slows. I mean, you've got so many things, and then you have the end-all be-all of Cho'Gath's kit, which is going to be his R, and I like to call it his outplay button, but it's his devour. This is such a good tool to utilize in the early games because it can put you ahead of your laner if you're able to use it properly. For those of you that don't know, every time Cho'Gath eats either a minion or a champion, he gains a stack. That stack grants bonus damage, bonus health, and makes him a little bigger in size, which can make him very disruptive. So once you start to hit the later game, if you can really get as many stacks as you can, you become huge. I mean, I've seen people play Cho'Gath in a ranked game that have 8,000 health. I mean, you can really be disruptive, and what this means is that you're able to just kind of walk into the front line of the enemy team and just be disruptive. You're able to silence a lot of people. You're able to cause a lot of commotion and really let your backline do what they do best, which is going to be pump out a bunch of damage. So Cho'Gath is going to be the pick for top lane. Now let's look at jungle. Now jungle is going to be kind of a weird one because it is so assassin oriented. There are many assassins that you can play. However, if you're looking to be more impactful in the later game with assassins sort of falling off as the later the game gets, playing someone that has a lot of disruption, maybe some CC, is going to be key, and that's why I'm going to pick Sejuani. Now, if you don't know, Sejuani has 2 stuns in her kit. She has her E stun and she has her ultimate. Now, her ultimate is very easy to use. It's a skill shot, but it has a very large hitbox, and she throws out a chunk of ice or whatever you want to call it, and if it, the first champion that it hits, it will stun them for a pretty decent amount of time. Why do I pick Sejuani? Well, because once you hit level 6, all you have to do is walk to lane to gank and throw your ultimate, and if you hit the enemy laner 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna cause a kill. So if your bot lane is really struggling and they're maybe down a kill or they're down some CS because they've just been proxied off of their wave, going down and throwing your ultimate and allowing your ADC to kind of catch up can really be what your team needs to kind of get the the snowball rolling. Same thing with mid lane and same thing with top lane. Sejuani just offers so much CC to the table that she can really take care of her team. She also does have a little bit of extra armor and magic resist in the first little bit once she takes damage, and then it starts to fall away, slows don't affect her, that sort of thing. So she's really great to utilize in the early game stages, and in the late game stages you can look for picks, throwing your ult out to maybe take out one of their damage dealers. So Sejuani is going to be the pick for jungle. Again, I just want to reiterate, I am picking champions that are going to bring the most to the table in sense of team fights and maybe play better as a team. If your team isn't quite understanding what they're doing, having a champion that can really change the way a team fight is swaying, it can really mean a lot for the team. So let's jump into mid lane. Now, mid lane is going to be kind of a weird one because, again, it is so assassin oriented currently. But the champion that I'm going to pick is Orianna. Now, Orianna has a lot of damage. I mean, even if she kind of builds like a hybrid build, she has a ton of damage that she can bring to the table, and her ultimate is so disruptive. If you maybe haven't played Orianna before, she has a ball that she controls to basically pump out all of her damage. What makes Orianna so great in the later stages of the game is that she's able to toss her ball directly behind the front line and basically ult, and she's going to be able to disrupt all of the damage that's pumping out from behind, you know, the enemy team's front line or the tanks or whatever it may be. And if she's able to get fed really early on, she's actually able to kill people with just her ultimate and her QW combo. So if you can get to a team fight and you can get close enough to Q behind the enemy team and get to that, you know, that AD carry or that Kha'Zix or Rengar, whoever is kind of in the back waiting to pounce, I guess you could say, she can really disrupt it. And even if she can't get that close, she can use her ultimate on the front line to, you know, kind of the same deal, disrupt them a little bit, throw them for a loop, and maybe if they don't have enough magic resist built, you can kill them, which can really turn the tides of a fight. You guys are probably noticing a pattern that I'm doing here, and I'm picking champions that all have really impactful ultimates. You know, ultimates that affect more than one person, with the exception of Sejuani, or that can really pump out a lot of damage. So let's jump into our AD carry. Now, AD carries is going to be kind of another weird one because they don't really offer much. Most AD carries don't really offer anything much different than just auto attacks and, you know, crit damage and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are ADCs that do, but I'm going to pick Jinx for this specific list just to get you through to the end of the season. Why am I picking Jinx? Well, if you can really bide your time with her and you can really, you know, hold your teeth, because she does have kill potential in the early game, but not as much as most ADCs do. So if you can really just focus on your farming, try not to die, as soon as the later game hits, you start to really pump out damage. And even if your team is inting or feeding or not really paying attention, you can really 1v5 with the Jinx the later the game gets, because she starts to offer a lot of damage, a lot of crit. With her global ultimate, she's able to get, you know, picks really easily. And so Jinx is going to be one of the best champions to play because you don't have to worry about using your spells too much. All you really need to know is how to switch between your Gatling gun and your rocket launcher. And once you can kind of learn how to do that and figure that out, everything changes, and it's just easy to carry a game with Jinx. Now, again, don't get me wrong, there are AD carries out there that, you know, are doing better currently or maybe have a little bit more to bring to the table, but Jinx is always in a solid spot in the meta. She never really is weak, but she's never really, you know, broken. Very, very rarely is she one of the top, you know, AD carries. And actually just recently she was, and she's starting to drop down a little bit just because she doesn't really have an escape, and with not having an escape, with it being an assassin meta, it can be difficult for her to work. But you just gotta get with the right support and you'll do fantastic. Now, speaking of supports, let's talk about it. Now, support is going to be very difficult, and I don't want to say this, but I know that this is going to give you the best chance to win, and I know that, you know, people make memes about it and they talk crap about it all the time. But Lux is going to be a great support to play if that's what you main and you're looking to climb, you know, to your goal, whether that be gold, silver, plat, you know, whatever it may be. Lux is going to be fantastic. If you've played Lux before, you know how easy it is. Once you hit, you know, a spellbind, you can throw out your E, ultimate, and 9 out of 10 times, you know, the later the game gets, you're going to get the kill, which is going to be fantastic. You have a lot of disruption with your snare. You have heavy damage coming out of your E. Even your shield can be great, as, you know, in the later points of the game when you're team fighting. She is just going to be someone that's going to take matters into her own hand. Now, if you're playing Lux support and your AD carry's popping off, then you have no reason to build full AP Lux. But if your AD carry is just feeding or inting or complaining or threatening to leave or whatever it may be, you now can rotate and maybe start buying items that can turn you into an AP goddess, because that is what Lux loves to do as a Lux support. Okay, so Lux is going to be the support that I'm going to pick. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Again, I'm just going to throw a disclaimer out there. These aren't the strongest champions, and I understand that League is such a team fight oriented game. And sometimes you're just going to have games that you can't win. And you're just going to have to be okay with that. Maybe take a break, go for a walk, take your dog for a walk, maybe go watch some TV, maybe go work out for a little bit and just kind of recoup yourself. The champions that I listed in this video are going to have great chances to help you win the games a little more because of what they bring to the table. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video and found it useful in any way, shape, or form. If you did like the video, be sure to leave a like down below and comment and let me know what role you play and what rank you're shooting for by the end of the season, because I'd love to know. And let me know if these picks helps you out. And if you guys could as well, please subscribe. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys do enjoy the videos I make. and the content that I create. Now, with that being said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining the Stone Army.